City have dropped points. The lead is 7. The lead is 7. God, we were terrible. We were so bad. We were so horrendous in this game. And we got it over the line. We were absolutely terrible. That was one of the worst performances I've seen from Arsenal all season. That was 7 clear. Yes. Come on, Flynn. Come on, buddy. Yeah. My puppy's in here trying to see what's going on. We did it. We're up 7 points. We did it, buddy. Oh, I'm so jacked. I'm so jacked. What a win. What a win. What an absolutely amazing win that was. That right there might be the defining win of the season. That might be the defining win of the season because we were horrendous. That was a really poor performance. That was a really poor performance. And we're going to go ahead and do the match reaction right here like we've been doing since like we've been doing at the end of watch-alongs. Since we started doing watch-alongs, I've decided to start doing match reactions at the end. Woo! And so there's Ty at the ground. The production got him in the shot. And so, yeah. So, of course, welcome along to the match reaction. We'll be posting it, of course, as a separate bit. But we're just going to go ahead and record it right now since we're live, since I'm feeling amazing at the moment. Man City have dropped points. Arsenal have not, and the gap is 7 at the top. So let's smash up the likes on your way in here to the match reaction. Go ahead and hype it up if you got any of those points left. I'm certainly hyped. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. It would be an absolute honor, a pleasure to welcome you to the channel. And I want to know what you're thinking in the comment section down below. 7 points clear, baby. 7 points clear. The Arsenal. Oh, Forest and the Arsenal have just made me so happy. Oh, my goodness. What a win this was. And when we got started, when I first got on here and saw that there was no Saliba, I actually didn't flinch at all. I actually wasn't worried at all about not having William Saliba in the team. I thought that Mascara, of course, coming in was going to be just fine as far as deputizing for Willie Saliba. It was interesting to note that we didn't have Martin Odegaard in the team at all either. But I thought that when the game started, it was fast. It was open right from the beginning, and I thought that we were pressing well. And then we scored. Saka cuts in, beats his man for the only time of the game, and scores the goal in the 9th minute. And I'm thinking, let's go. Gonna be, a good day, But then right out the rip, Brighton started pressing well. They were winning the second balls, and we were up against it. And that never changed. We as soon as we scored, it was like, all right, let's just defend for the rest of the game. As soon as we scored, we just said, you know what? We're just going to defend what we have for the rest of the game. And it was nervy the whole time. It was pragmatic. It was disgusting at times, really. There was no control. It was simply just keep them at bay. It was simply just put your hand on their head and don't let them close. And it was a performance of bend, don't break, and as far as being in control, as far as, being the ones dictating things, as far as being the team that is dominating possession, we didn't do any of that. We didn't do any of that. We didn't dominate possession. We didn't press them well. Our press was almost, I mean, it was paper thin. It was just like so easy to cut through us. They got to the opposite side of the press and gained the territory with Van Hecke, especially in that first half. So much, so many times, like over and over and over and over again. And I thought that, like, honestly, what I called for in this game was because Brighton liked to play out from the back. I wanted us to press high and make them make mistakes. We did not do that hardly at all. They were very obviously. We know Brighton are very good at playing out from the back. They're committed to it, so they practice it a whole lot, and they go for it a lot. And our best attributes against the ball is to make the keeper hit it long and then win the second ball. We didn't do any of that. I thought that once I realized that about minute 25 or whatever, that we were actually just going to sit back. Once I realized that that's what was happening, that we were actually just going to sit back and try to defend what we had for the rest of the game, I was like, man, that's too long. It's gonna be too long for us to do that. And we were sloppy in possession. We didn't have enough possession at all to really exert ourselves at any point of the game. We didn't. I don't think we didn't get on the ball enough. We weren't committed enough to trying to play through the lines. It's kind of baffling to me how once we scored the goal, we changed the game. We just decided from the 9th minute on, you're not going to score on us. And while as far as we executed that well and were able to get that over the line, I mean, look at the gray hairs this team is causing me, man. I'm 34 years old. And this team is causing me all kinds of gray hairs, man. That, I'll tell you straight up. I'll tell you right now, that was lucky. We defended well. I thought we defended well, but there is a good amount of fortune. It's such a weird game. It's such a weird game because on another day, we lose 4-1. On another day, we absolutely take a beating against a team who was sharper, who, were better in front of the net. We would have lost this game. We would have absolutely been slapped in this game. Too many times. And what it came from was Van Hecke was gaining all the territory on the opposite side of our press, and they just had so many opportunities to start their attack from the halfway line. And in that first half, I thought that they were really doing well with Jorginho to check to the ball and then play the one touch off, lay it off to the runner. The guy, whoever passed it, would run in to the towards his own pass, following his own pass. And Reuter was hitting it off left to right, and they were doing really well. We weren't following the runners as well as we should have been when they were doing that in that first half. And there were times where it looked dangerous, but Brighton managed to look comfortable in build-up, look dangerous in the final third without actually creating any real gilt-edged chances. Reuter makes David Raya make one save in that second half, but their crosses, we were letting in far too many crosses, and I expected them at some point to get it right. I expected them at some point that one of the crosses would find its way to somebody who would figure it out, because there was at least 4 free headers. We were just letting them have free headers in the box because they were getting in so many crosses. It was definitely we bent and bent and bent and bent and bent and managed not to break kind of performance, and at halftime, we are way up against it, man. We're not, our press wasn't working well. We were not winning the second balls. Declan Rice and Zubamendi looked gassed. Both of them looked absolutely dead. Zubamendi, he had a couple of good tackles. He was not dictating play. He was not setting the tempo. We didn't really do a lot of build-up. We didn't have a lot of the ball. Like, this must have been this may have been like a 65-35 possession for Brighton. And it's because, and it's so weird. It's because like we just accepted that we were just going to play defense for the rest of the game. And once we were in that mindset, when we did get on the ball, we were just lackluster, very sloppy, a lot of poor touches, poor free kick taking from Declan Rice. I think Declan Rice is tired, man. I'm so glad that like the draws have been so good to us. So good to us. Because if we had if we had to play Newcastle like City do in the FA Cup at the weekend, man, Declan Rice is absolutely shattered. Zubamendi's absolutely shattered. So I thank the football gods that we got Mansfield and we're going to rotate. I don't want to see Rice or Zubamendi near that field, man. Not at all. I don't want to see them there at all. They look so tired, sloppy from both of them. The service from Declan Rice on the corner kicks, the 3 that we had weren't great. A couple of times in that first half, we had free kicks and we tried to change the angle so that we could get a better cross in, and we never did. It was a complete waste. So it was a tired performance. I think that the referee was horrendous, but we knew that going in. It was a baffling, the yellow card that Mosquera got on his very first challenge caused him to have to be subbed off and not be able to be at his best. I thought Mensah had a beat a couple of times. But I will say, as far as, some positives, I think Mikel Arteta did well as far as the subs. I think he recognized that Victor Gyökeres had an absolute stinker and pulled him, and Havertz was marginally better. I thought Havertz grew in the game a little bit and was better than Gyökeres, that's for sure. Victor, I love you, bro, but that was terrible. That was absolutely horrendous from the Swedish man up top. I thought that Eze was decent. Eze actually had a decent game. He was getting involved. He was certainly had more and better touches than the rest of the front line. I thought that Big Gabriel had a decent game. A lot of clearances, a lot of good work against Jorginho Rutter. But I thought that a lot of times we were not close enough. We weren't getting close enough like we normally do. Brighton were just maybe a step ahead when we were against the ball, and they were able to play through us up to a certain point really well. But once we got into the final third, they were poor, man. Like they were poor. A number of good chances they fashioned just didn't have the end product. That must be said. That absolutely must be pointed out, that there was a number of times where we did not, we looked up against it. We looked up against it for sure, but their end product, like it must be said, their end product was garbage. Straight up, like if that was if Brighton, and that's not like Brighton. Brighton score goals, man. It's not like they just never found it. They just never found the quality in front of the net. Poor touch here, bad cross there, poor pass there, flick on, didn't get it. But they were winning second balls. They were winning the battle of possession. They were winning the second balls in the midfield. That was a really tough game for us, and we did it to ourselves. We made it tough for ourselves. In the end, is what actually ended up happening, and I think that it didn't need to be that way. It didn't need to be that way. But credit Brighton, who you got to give them credit for setting up the you got to give them credit for setting up their possession really, really well to break our press down. And I think we noticed that really, really early after the goal, that where we weren't pressing as high, we were pressing just a little bit, and they were able to play through us so easily. And so we didn't really try to execute our high press well. But I think in that at halftime, we made some adjustments. And I think that for the first 10 minutes where we weathered that storm, they were pretty good. And then they were pretty good for about 10 minutes in that second half, caused a lot of issues. And I was like very nervous. And then I think, even though I was still nervous, Anthony Gordon just missed a sitter. Even though I was still nervous, from about 65th minute on, from about the 55th minute on, I think we locked them down a bit more. They didn't really threaten David Raya, except for the one shot from Jorginho Rutter. And it's a good save from Raya. Hope he's okay. Kind of hurt his shoulder. Hopefully Kepa will be in the goal versus Mansfield and he'll get a rest as well. And so, yeah, it's one of those days where we defended well. Brighton were not at it in front of the goal, and we come away with 3 points on the back of an absolutely not our best performance at all. Not even close to our best performance at all. So I'm absolutely pumped. Like, that is such a massive, 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 massive win off the back of being so poor. And of course, Man City, Nottingham Forest fighting for their lives, get a point at Man City to extend the lead at the top. I mean, holy crapola, man. What a day. What a day it ends up being. I was nervous for that whole 90 minutes because they were just, yeah, they just wanted to, for it to be squeaky bum time for 90 minutes straight. That was very, very, a very tough watch, and after this match reaction, enough said about that, the better. The less said about that performance, the better. Because at the end of the day, all that matters is the 3 points and the fact that we have gained 2 more points on Manchester City and are now up 7 points. Yes, they have a game in hand, but that gap is so big. That's such a big result tonight. So big. That right there is a champion's performance. That is a champion's win because we were terrible and we got the 3 points. A champion's win is what that is. Because, wow, that's all that matters. At the end of the day, we got the 3 points, and that's all that matters. Do want to shout out Pierre Nketiah, was fantastic. Had a great game. So, yeah, once again, when you're looking at man of the match, this one's really easy, honestly. It's either it's Gabriel or Nketiah. Once again, it's one of the defenders. It has to be. Because we didn't do much else but defend. We defended a lot. We didn't do a whole lot else. So there you go. And with that point, did West Ham get a point as well? Well, there you go. Forest and West Ham are level on 28 with Spurs on 29. What a day. What a day. If Palace can just do a good one tomorrow. Oh, my goodness gracious me. So it's looking even better at the top of the table. I'm absolutely pumped. People. So if you're feeling as awesome as I am about this one, go ahead and smash up those likes for not a great performance, but we got the 3 points. A champion's 3 points is what that is. Go ahead and hype it up if you got any of those points left. I'm hyped at the moment. It would be an honor and a pleasure to welcome you to the channel if you are new. So go ahead and subscribe as well. And make sure you have that notification bell on because it is Wednesday. You know what that means, people. It's the Cup Chasers podcast tonight. In fact, we will be live in about an hour and 10 minutes. So make sure you're locked in right here because we're going to be telling you to Steve, the Liverpool fan. He's not going to be happy with the result versus Wolves. And I'm sure Nez won't be too happy about the result versus Forest. So that's in about an hour. In England, it'll be at 11. Here on the East Coast of America, it'll be 6 p.m. Make sure you're locked in. Make sure you got that notification bell on, like I said. So, yeah, once again, thank you for being here. Come on, you Gunners, and you. We'll see me.